Hey, what's up, everybody? I know it's been a couple of days since I've uploaded, but I've just been busy with studying for finals and obviously Mother's Day today. But I'm here to give you guys a video today since I'm not busy. So that obviously makes sense about why I would be making a video today. So today's video is going to be on Lucha Underground. I got to mention it now because I got the championship. I am the Wrestling Rundown champion. Make sure you tune into this show this Thursday, where we'll be covering the stuff going on with WWE. But yeah, I'm here to give you guys my review of Lucha Underground, Season 1, Episode 2, and this one's called Los Demonios. I have no clue how to say it. And this was taped on September 17th, 2014, and the original air date was November 5th, 2014. So you can obviously tell when I do these Lucha Underground videos that some of the stuff I was going to say is very dated stuff, because I know a lot of these guys have gone on to other promotions and have done other things. But I do want to watch the early season since it's on Netflix and stuff. I am going to be bringing back the Lucha Underground videos. I don't really know how sporadic they're going to be. Today I'm just doing it just because I don't really feel like doing the live reactions to New Japan today, just because I have an actual break to do the live reactions, and obviously it's a nice easy video for me to do, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm here to give you guys my review of it. I know I did like a review of episode 1 way back when. That was way back in, that was way back in the summer. Well, I redid the review. Well, I'm not going to do it again because that review is pretty recent. So I'm going to try to see if I can catch up on these Lucha Underground videos, because a lot of people tell me Lucha Underground is awesome, and I just never get a chance to watch it. So I'm planning on watching Lucha Underground, for the time being. So let's talk about this show. Now, when it comes down to Lucha Underground, I'm going to be probably getting my notes most likely on the Wikipedia page, and I'm also going to be mentioning things I like about it. I want to start off with the things one big thing I like about it is I do kind of like with Lucha Underground that it looks like it's like an actual TV show, like a Breaking Bad, like a Walking Dead, like all these other shows you see. I can't think of, even like, I'll even say like a comedy show. It's not like a comedy show, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it's looked like it's actually a well-produced TV show, which I think is kind of cool. It's something that's never really been done in wrestling. I think it looks really cool. The quality of the show and the camera works looks really well-produced. So I love the way that this show, with production-wise, of how it's set up and everything. I think that looks really cool. And for commentary for this show, we had Vampiro and Matt Striker. I think that's kind of cool because it's one former WWE guy and another former like WCW, ECW type guy that's been in the business before. And I think they have a pretty good dynamic with each other. I think Matt Striker's definitely improved. I remember when he was doing commentary back in 2011, 2012-ish. He really wasn't all that good. He just kind of came off like a geek on commentary. He still kind of comes off like a geek, but it's not as bad as it was in WWE. And Vampiro, I think, is okay on commentary. I'm going to kind of give him a pass for these few weeks because I think it's his first stint being on commentary, so I think he's still trying to get used to it. So, yeah. Now, obviously, the show kicked off. What was kind of strange is since this was taped pretty much a day later, with the fans, it was a lot of the stuff that happened was very fresh in their minds. And you could kind of see that these were the same fans that were in the arena the previous night, or the previous week in this case, because some of them looked familiar. But it opens up with those three guys that attacked Johnny Mundo and Prince Puma on the previous episode, which I think made sense to kick it off with. I was kind of questioning why this wasn't the main event, but after what did close the show, I thought it made sense. And we find out that these guys are Cortez Castro, Cisco, and Big Rick. Now, what I did like about this was Big Rick did reference that him and Johnny Mundo knew each other from other promotions because they were technically both in WWE again when WWE before when Johnny Mundo was John Morrison and Big Rick was Ezekiel Jackson. So I did kind of like that they referenced that they knew each other, and they say that they're just here to make money and beat people down. And Johnny Mundo immediately runs out and attacks Cortez and Cisco, and Big Rick just rolls out of the ring, and Mundo fights off Cortez and Cisco, and then Cortez and as all this happens, Big Rick grabs like his cigar that he had been smoking and just watches it from the steps, which I thought was kind of badass. And Cisco and Castro both grab or Cortez, whatever you want to call them, both grab wooden chairs in this case, and we're about to get in the ring and just attack Johnny Mundo, but then he gets saved by Prince Puma. Now, Prince Puma, we know now, is Ricochet in NXT, but obviously this is before he was signed to WWE, like way before he was signed to WWE. So I'm going to call him Prince Puma here, obviously. And he comes out, and then Dario Cueto, the owner of Lucha Underground, at least storyline-wise, comes out and makes this a tag team match. And we had the tag team match. Although I thought this was a really good tag team match. I think this might have been my favorite match on the show. Mundo and Cortez started off, and Mundo and Prince Puma pretty much get the advantage throughout the matchup. I thought Mundo hit a lot of nice athletic moves in this match with the moonsault and the drop kick and the Pele kick. I thought those looked really cool. And then eventually Cisco tries to interfere in the match, but Mundo sees him coming, and this upsets Prince Puma, so he gets in the ring. This distracts the referee, and Mundo goes for his like springboard spin kick. I don't remember what he called it before, and Cortez pulls Mundo's legs down, and Cisco hits a senton on him, and Cisco and Cortez get the heat on Johnny Mundo for a while, and then eventually Prince Puma gets the hot tag. He starts going off on everybody. He ends up hitting a neck breaker, which I believe on Cortez, which causes which causes him to hit a DDT on Cisco, which I thought was cool. And then he covers Cisco. Cisco kicks out, and then eventually Johnny Mundo gets in the ring and starts going off on Cortez. He clotheslines him out of the ring. He goes for a dive. Cortez moves out of the way, and they go for their flapjack code breaker, but Mundo pulls Cisco out of the ring, and Cortez tries to cheap to defeat Prince Puma, and then Puma hits a they even both hit a double insecurity earlier in the match on Castro Cortez, and then they both hit a springboard double TDT at the same time, and then eventually Cortez tries to hit a roll up on Johnny Mundo, and they both get the and tries to hold the ropes, but the referee catches him, and then eventually the finish comes when Prince Puma and Johnny Mundo hit a double 450 splash onto both guys, and they pin both guys for the win, and Big Rick just walks away from this. And I actually liked this match here. I thought it was really good. The only thing I question is why Castro and Cortez and Cisco didn't go over in this matchup, since they're like a big faction, and why Big Rick didn't interfere in the match. I thought that would have made sense, but yeah, I liked this match here. It was a nice highlight for Johnny Mundo and Prince Puma. And then it shows a backstage segment with Conan and Prince Puma, where Conan tells Prince Puma not to trust anybody in the business and not to be friends with Johnny Mundo. Your only friend is the guy that's looking at you. Now, something tells me what's going to happen is Prince, even though I haven't read any spoilers or anything like that Prince Puma is going to turn on Conan, because that dynamic seems really off, considering the fact that Prince Puma is a babyface and Conan's supposed to be a heel. So I have a feeling they're going to turn on each other. And they did another video package showing Conan as he was training Prince Puma, kind of giving us a background for Prince Puma, talking about how how he didn't really need to train Prince Puma. He just found him in the back alleys, and I liked it. It was good backstage promo. And then it showed I'm going to actually cover all the main event stuff all in one section. Then we had a mixed tag team match. It was Son of Havoc and Ivelisse. Ivelisse was in... she was in WWE Tough Enough back in 2011, and then she did the TNA Gut Check segment back in 2013, but didn't get accepted to both ends, so she was here in Lucha Underground, which I actually always questioned why she never got accepted, since she was pretty talented. I was especially surprised she at least didn't get signed to TNA, but that's besides the point. Especially since they went with, I forget her name off the top of my head, but you get what I'm saying. And this was a mixed tag team match. They wrestled Chavo Guerrero Jr. and Sexy Star. I thought this match made sense since Sexy Star and Son of Havoc had a match on the previous episode where Son of Havoc cheated to win. So this was kind of a way to even things out. And I did like that this mixed tag team match really wasn't a mixed tag team match. I do like how Lucha Underground's going to let the men fight the women, because I think that really promotes equality, because you're showing the fact that the woman can hang with the men, and also the men can hang with the woman. So I actually do like that. It promotes equality. I wish WWE and other wrestling promotions would let the men wrestle the women. I kind of understand why they can't do that, because they would probably get a lot of flack, but Lucha Underground really wouldn't. But I think that would be really cool. And I thought this was a good mixed tag team match here. I think this is how a mixed tag team match would work, because the psychology isn't off. The heels get the heat on Chavo for a while, and then eventually Sexy Star gets the hot tag on Son of Havoc. She starts going off on him, and then eventually he hits a backbreaker on her, and then he tags in Ivelisse. They start to go at it for a while. And then eventually, Chavo Guerrero Jr. gets the hot tag on Son of Havoc. And eventually, he hits a frog splash after Sexy Star hit a double knees off the apron onto Ivelisse. But Chavo Guerrero lets Sexy Star gets the pin, because afterwards he tags her in, and she comes in and hits a head scissors roll up onto Son of Havoc for the win. And I thought this made sense that they went over. And since Sexy Star got a win back from losing to Son of Havoc. And this kind of made sense now that I think about it, considering what they did with Chavo Guerrero Jr. later on in the show. Alright, then we had the main event segment. It was, this match was, I'm probably going to mess up this guy's name. Mil Maltrez, I don't think that's how you say that at all, with Katrina. Katrina's best known as Maxine from WWE, versus Blue Demon Jr., and I don't really know where we've seen Blue Demon Jr. I believe I've seen him wrestle a couple of New Japan matches, but I'm not really necessarily sure, and you can't really click on his Wikipedia page, so it doesn't sound like he's a very well-known wrestler. And this match I thought was pretty good. I forgot to do my star ratings. I'll do that at the end of the review. I like the way they built up to this match, where they talked about how Mil Maltrez stands for 1,000 deaths. I thought that was really nice. And, then they showed, like, a video package for him where Katrina was voicing him, talking about how now that he's been released, no one's going to be able to stop him in Lucha Underground. And then they did a segment where Blue Demon Jr. was getting ready for the match, working out, and Katrina came in and sent a message from, I'm just going to call him thousands of death, which is Mil Maltrez, where she ended up licking his mouth and says that's the taste of death, which I actually thought was a nice touch. And then we had the match itself, and overall I thought this was a pretty good match. Mil Maltrez, I thought they made look really strong in the match. He dominated the match early. He threw Blue Demon Jr. on the outside. He bounced his head off the announcer's table, and he beat the crap out of him for a while, and then Blue Demon Jr. tried to make a comeback. He hit a arm drag, or a hip toss, and then he hit a drop kick. Mil Maltrez ended up hitting a submission on him. Blue Demon Jr. hit a DDT on him, and then eventually Mil Maltrez hit a spear, and then like a not a choke slam, but I forget the name of his finisher. I don't really remember what it was, but he had his finisher on him for the win, and he ended up going over, which made sense because they were trying to make this guy like a strong superstar. And then afterwards, there was this stone that he only let Katrina hold, and it was supposed to be like a symbol or something. And he was going to attack. He continued to attack Blue Demon Jr. even more. Then Chavo Guerrero Jr. came out and he made the save. And he came out with a chair. And you think that it's going to end off with a big happy ending. That's not what happens. Chavo Guerrero Jr. lays out Blue Demon Jr. He cracks him over the head with a chair. And he beats the crap out of him. And then he ends up, referees and other wrestlers try to come out and stop him, but he lays them out as well. Some of them were just hitting right hands on him. Some of them hitting a steel chair on him. And then eventually Sexy Star comes out, which I kind of like that they tied into the earlier segment where they were teaming up together. And they also brought up the fact that Blue Demon Jr. and Sexy Star both trained together in wrestling, both had a very close relationship. So she was begging Chavo Guerrero not to, like to stop attacking him. And then he cracks Sexy Star over the head with a chair, which was something you would never see anywhere else. And then everybody comes out and puts Blue Demon Jr. on a stretcher. They roll him outside, and the show pretty much goes off the air with Chavo Guerrero Jr. statistically laughing and Blue Demon Jr. being carted into an ambulance and taken to a hospital. I thought this was an awesome segment. I thought this made Chavo Guerrero Jr. look really strong. And it made sense since they did a segment on the last episode where Dario Cueto tried to wake up Chavo Guerrero Jr. saying that he's supposed to be the Guerrero family. And you just tapped out the Blue Demon Jr. So this makes sense. So I love this. I thought this was great. And overall, I'm really liking Lucha Underground. I really wish I had gone into it earlier. But I really liked this episode. This episode I thought was awesome. I especially like the production of it, that it looks like it's like a well-made TV show just with wrestling in it. And I think that's really cool. It's like a Walking Dead, Breaking Bad. And I can't really think of, there's another TV show that I'm trying to think of, but it's like a TV show like that. And I think it looks really cool. This is definitely like if Breaking Bad wrote WWE. That's exactly kind of what it is, except no mess or any of that. So I think this is a really cool show. If I had to rate this show, I'll probably give it an 8 out of 10. I thought it was a great show. As for the star ratings for each match, for the tag team match, I'll probably give that match 3.5 stars. I thought that was really good. For the mixed tag team match, I'll give that 3 stars. I thought that was a good match. And then for the main event, I'm probably going to give that 3.25. It was a pretty good match, but the main purpose of that match was to put over Mil Muertes and put him over as a dominant force in Lucha Underground. So I thought that was pretty good. And yeah, I'm definitely going to watch more Lucha Underground. I think it's a really good promotion, and I can't really say that, though, because I've only seen 2 episodes. I'll probably have to wait till I watch the whole season, but overall, what I'm seeing so far, I think it's been really good. But that's pretty much my video. Please make sure you guys like, comment, and share this video so people will watch it. Make sure you subscribe to this channel so that way you'll be able to watch all my videos, or click on the bell so that way you'll be able to be notified for every time I upload a video on this channel, whether it's a Lucha Underground review, the wrestling rundown, anything else. And make what's on the champion of the wrestling rundown, still champ, baby. And make sure you guys do the same thing for my CM Brothers and Owen the Talkinator YouTube channels. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.